Hey team, this is Casey.
And this is Shannon, and you're listening to 8 Count Breakdown.
You're home for all things college dance all in one place. Hi guys!
Hi.
We have Jenni and Louie here, and thank you guys so much for joining us. We are so happy to have you guys. In our first intro to NDA episode, we kind of talked about how we're both new to the NDA world. So we wanted to talk to people that have actually lived it to share with our listeners, because I think that's the best way to learn about something new, is to learn from people that have lived it. So we really appreciate you guys joining us today.
For sure.
Yes, of course.
So can you just let us know what years you were on the team and competed at NDA?
I was on the Iowa State dance team from 2019, and then I graduated in 2023. So I was on the team when COVID hit. So I skipped my freshman year getting to dance at NDA, and then I got to dance my sophomore, junior, and senior year.
I was on the team from 2021 until 2025, and I had the opportunity to compete at NDA Nationals all 4 of those years. I was only in one routine my first 2 years, and then added another my second 2.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that, having multiple routines, how many routines your team had, and what that looks like at NDA? Because that is something that's different than UDA.
Yeah, and for Iowa State even, it's different for us too, because there was 42 people on the team. So we were able to take actually 4 routines. Iowa
Wow.
State was split into 2 teams. There was a cardinal team and a gold team. And so each one of those teams could take 2 dances, but the dancers in each can flip-flop around. There's some people that aren't in the same 2 dances back-to-back years. It kind of just switches on whatever our coaches would think what dancer would fit best in whatever dance.
The 2 teams compete in the same categories, so jazz pom, or was there a hip hop in there, or team performance, or?
It did kind of change, but when we were on the team, it's even changed now. This past year, they're doing it completely different. So the gold squad does jazz and team, and then the Cardinals squad would have done pom and the game day, spirit rally routine.
Team performance is fascinating to me. So you do all 3, pom, jazz, and hip hop all in one?
Yep. So each of those gets 30 seconds, and you can decide if you want to start with jazz, or you want to start with hip hop, or you want to start with pom. You as a team get to decide how you want to do your mix.
Can there be a lyrical jazz in there, or do most teams opt for a more upbeat jazz?
Yeah, it just depends on what mix you want to do. So
How
you could do a very lyrical into a hard hitting pom into a grimy hip hop if that was
so
Sometimes the
interesting.
mixes for team are very interesting, and
Really?
they use a lot of sound effects to make it kind of flow. It's wild.
That's
a lot of people are
fascinating.
why do they do that? But I think it's very cool for especially the teams that if you've ever seen Sam Houston hit their team performance, the way they flow from one category to the next is very intriguing.
That's so how do you shift your mindset?
It's
Did
hard.
you guys do team? You
I
guys did
never
team
got to
per-
be in team.
I was in team for part of 1 year, my freshman year, and it was honestly so hard. I think I was struggling a little bit, and I did get taken out a month before nationals, because it's hard to switch your mind like that. And we would always do hip hop last,
Okay.
and so you have to be now I gotta get low and pick up my feet still, and it's hip hop, and I'm so tired. It was hard.
So interesting. I can't wrap my mind around it, but I feel like it shows the versatility of teams and
Yes.
adaptability really well.
You can tell just watching the team performances how impressive it is to do that. Just watching it does look so hard. I was just impressed by the versatility too. Seeing these dancers do jazz, but then seeing how, you were saying, grimy they got in hip hop. I was like, what? I was not expecting that.
And your score sheet is jazz, hip hop, pom. So each section is scored. Based on that, it's not a team score sheet. So once that 30 seconds is done, you're done. And that's why it's so important to be okay, now I need to switch from jazz to pom, because they are looking at the sharpness, the pictures, the technique, and things like that too. So it's a hard category for sure.
Two things that I want to go back to. One, you said Sam Houston is another team. So keep giving us teams because we want listeners to be able to like go and search these teams that they might not know about and see kind of what they specialize in. So that's awesome. We'll have to go check that out. And then I wanted to ask, kind of going back to the Cardinal and the Gold team, I have seen other teams do this where they have like two separate teams. Is that super common at NDA, or is that just like some teams do it, some teams don't, or what's that like?
I know we've been doing Cardinal and Gold like ever since even prior to when I was on the team. So that's been going on for like at least 10 years now, probably even plus that. I don't know that many other teams do it. I know a couple do, but they don't necessarily bring 4 dances. And that's even new since I graduated, because I believe after I left in 2023, 2024 was the first year they brought then game days. They had only done pom and team. And then they added jazz like the year before I made the team. So then it was fresh that they were bringing 3 dances. And then they added a fourth, which is crazy enough because thinking about a practice schedule, we only practiced Tuesday, Thursdays, Sundays. So you have to then equal out your time for 4 routines, which can also be a lot too.
We might have talked about this in our intro episode too, but I'm forgetting now. Can all 42 dancers do game day, or can like only one of, is there a limit?
I believe no.
So there'll be some people will have to do like student teaching in the second semester, and they'll ask if they can do just game day or just nationals. This is just how it is for Iowa State, but we kind of had it so where it's just you, once you're on the team, you're doing the whole season. No, like even if you weren't in a dance, still plan on being at nationals, doing all the sporting events all year, and then going to nationals, including like NDA camp and stuff as well.
So, it sounds like there's a lot of balance going on. Jenni, you might have done student teaching your last semester too, so I can't imagine what that was like. But what was your practice schedule like? Like, how did you balance school, work, if you had a job, if you had lifts, practice, game days? Like, what did your schedule look like?
So yeah, we practiced Tuesdays and Thursdays on campus at Forker in like a gymnasium type of area, which is honestly really nice. I love a gym floor. Turning on a gym floor is so nice. But then Sundays we would dance. When I was on the team at a studio in Iowa, so we had mirrors and we had Marley to practice on. And then Mondays and Wednesdays were like a lift day. So like majority of the season you were lifting. And so you had like an hour and you kind of got to like decide like with your schedule and like your classes and things like that when you could go. So like they were starting as early as 5, 6 a.m. whenever the gym opened to like noon, 4 o'clock. Like it depended on what people had for classes that semester. When you had to later in the season, like we do state at the end of the fall, like towards winter in Iowa, we perform there. And then closer to nationals, we switch from like working out to then doing like running your dances for stamina. And I did not like doing pom at like 6 a.m. So I always try to pick a later time. But with teaching, you actually can't student teach and be a full-time athlete. They don't let you. So I technically did like 4.5. So like because I could student teach like at a sister school in Minnesota, I then came home. So I was student teaching when I did Vikes for my first year. But then at school, I also worked at the testing center. So like got to pick my hours, and like you could just work like an hour shift at the testing center. So like it was nice, like I could go in between classes, or like I could work like a 3-hour shift or even just a 1-hour shift, just like extra spending money, which was nice too.
I was definitely not as busy as you in college, but my senior year I had a great schedule. I would do the Monday workouts like she was saying, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I knew we had practice, so I chose to not have like in-person class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'd wake up at like 6 a.m. on those days and go work at the nutrition shop, and then we would have practice Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 5:30. So it was kind of a perfect little schedule. I would have like 2 to 5 p.m. to do all my work and catch up on everything. But so it worked out pretty well. And then I feel like at a school like Iowa State, a lot of the people on our team were kind of there just to be able to dance. I mean, that's why I was there. But I think with that in mind, our like captains and our coaches kind of know that. And so they make it very easy to like set up our workouts around our schedule and just like have team bonding events and different groups for different traveling situations and like basketball, volleyball games, whatever it is. They made it pretty easy to like stay balanced and organized.
I was just laughing while you were talking because you said I chose not to have in-person classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and going to college post-COVID is so different. Like that was not a choice back in 2010.
It was not a choice for me either. All my elementary classes were in person.
Yeah.
And like I had blocks too. So it was like you're at school like 8 to 4. And then I would like go to
Yeah.
dance at 5:30. And it was brutal.
So it probably depends on your major too,
Yes,
of like
and,
what
like,
that looks like.
Going off
Yeah.
what Louie said, like they were very accommodating. Like
Yeah.
we had like vet med students who like wanted to then like pursue veterinary school. So like it worked well, like with your
Wow.
schedule. Like it was definitely manageable. And like I think that's something like, especially like still getting to dance at the caliber we did, I think is so special because you still gotta like pick a career you wanted
Mhm.
versus most other sports. Like you have to stick to like the business classes where they were like a lot of online or like not as much like rigor. So
Right.
like I know like for us, a lot of us felt very like fulfilled that we still got to pick a college education that we wanted.
You
So
don't feel like you're sacrificing anything in order to
Yeah.
dance. Yeah. Did your practice schedule ramp up prior to nationals? It
I
pretty much
mean,
stayed the same.
I feel like our nationals would be beginning of April.
Yeah.
The day coming back from spring break, we would all be at the studio for like 12 hours that day, just all together in the same like room, just hyping each other up and like final touches kind of thing. And then it would kind of be normal until we would get to nationals like 4 days before dancing, and a lot of the nitty-gritty details and like final cleans would honestly happen down there.
4 days before too.
Yeah.
That is that strategy to like get your mindset shifted
We're
to
like Iowa State was one of the first schools to like every year that I was on the team, we would like should get there on a Monday and everyone else would not get there until like Wednesday. And I think my coach like knew that she wanted to have us just like settled and like practicing in our own space, and like it did work because you would see teams coming in like just
flustered.
yeah, flustered and just having to go right on stage. And, like, they
Right.
have
straight to floor practice.
yeah, straight to their practice. And it's
Yeah.
also just like we're in Florida. I want to like have a little fun at
Right.
least. Like yeah.
Enjoy it. The ballroom practices at nationals are probably some of my favorite. Like Louie can probably attest to this, but that's like when I like ramped up in like my like junior senior year. Like I remember like going to that ballroom and I was like, I'm not leaving here until we all like feel good and like we're ready for the floor, because I'm not walking off the floor with any regrets. And especially like your senior year, like a lot of people are done after that, especially like after college. So I knew I was like heated up after prelims and I was like ready to go back to the ballroom and spend as much time as we needed to feel good about finals the next day.
Tell us about ballroom practices, because you hear about UDA and you hear about parking lot practices.
Yeah.
So is that, I don't know,
Very
is that kind
similar.
of the same
Like-
thing? Like, do you have to rent the space, or is it just a hotel?
So when I was on the team, we stayed at the boardwalk and like it was crazy nostalgia because as a child, I went to Daytona Beach for nationals with studio, but we had a ballroom and it's just like carpeted floor, but it was like just us. We could close the doors, like very private. But I mean, we would stay there till 1, 2 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, like
I
the
have-
night before you compete, or like earlier in the week?
Like
Or-
early in the week. So if
doesn't
we
matter.
got there Monday, we were like in our rooms. We met in the ballroom like that night to run through everything. Then Tuesday, I mean, you were there more recent than I was, but
I
like
mean,
Tuesday, did you have,
oh.
or Tuesday, I don't think we had anything. I think we tended to do the same thing where like you wake up, you run through your stuff. Wednesday, you might have like your floor time where that's like your time to like get on the Marley, get on a strip and like run through your dances. And then like Thursday would be prelims, Friday final.
Speaking of that floor practice, I will say Iowa State was pretty lucky with the 4 routines because you get 10 minutes per routine. So our whole team got 40 minutes on the practice floor, which is like pretty lucky. We would take a lot of advantage of that time, and she would just be like, just breathe through like what you're doing and like look at the floor. I think that helped a lot.
Were you able to use those 40 minutes however you wanted to? Like, did you have to dedicate like 10 minutes to a specific routine, or were they pretty flexible of like use it how you need to?
It was pretty much use it how you need to. It would be like some people doing it like completely full out, some people kind of marking through it. It was kind of just like whatever your brain like needs. Because at this point, it's like it's go time. It's a couple hours before. You're like so locked in, just ready to go, just literally doing whatever you need to do. And our coaches were very, I would say, like allowing. They let us do our own thing during those times, which I appreciated.
I wasn't always like that when I was on the team. He knows this. But I was like, I was like, no, we need to do it full out at least one time because like you need to get it all out here. Like if you're gonna mess up, I'd rather be here than out there. So like you get floor time also before you compete. So like I remember I was like, you will fully recover by the time you do it full out here to when you get on stage. I'd rather you botch something here while you're nervous than like go on stage and botch it there. So like I remember when I was a pom captain my junior senior year, I was like, we're doing it full out.
Louie, are
can
you having
cry
flashbacks
at me later.
from when
Jenni
Jenni was
a
your
tough
captain?
She was. I mean, it worked. It really did.
Because we can get into this. This is just a tangent, but my senior year? We were in second place in prelims to finals. And I remember I left the prelims finding out that we were in second with my coach and I was not happy. And I remember walking out with my coach and I was like, Mom, Dad, I'll see you later. I gotta go. And they were like, we understand. Like they know because it's announced
you.
like who's basically is they're like it's basically known like who's in for second because they announce in order and I was like I'm not going out my senior year in second place, so I left anyways with my coach and I was like what do we need to do, and like I was still in my full like beat slick bun like hairpiece in and I was like we walked back to the ballroom and I was like what do we need to do, and like her and I sat down and she's like well this is the scores, this is what. And our coach works for like NDA, NCA, UDA. So like she's very much in the mindset of a score sheet. So like I always loved knowing the nitty gritty about a score sheet. What's on it? What do we need to hit? Because NDA to UDA, the score sheets are very different. NDA, you do not have a section for difficulty. No, I'm pretty sure that hasn't changed.
I think in
High school? Jazz. So at least for Palm, there's not like a score for difficulties. So like if your team has a team quint, great. But if you don't hit it, you're not getting recognized for it. But we went back and I was like, okay, so this is what it's telling us. These are the parts that we're clearly not hitting right now. So I was like, let's take it out. Clean double, fine. Let's end our turn set with a double and nail it versus a wobbly quad. Like that's not worth it. And we ended up winning. But I did do a lot of work in between prelims to there. I remember people came back, they had their hair down, makeup off, and I'm still in my full glam. I'm like,
you're in the big T. I
yes.
remember.
Oh.
And anyways, and I told them straight up, I said, we can either leave and go to bed and be content in second place, or we can stay and we can work and we can win. And I gave my team the choice.
Wow.
Period,
And I know people weren't happy with me,
but hey, you won.
How's that ring though?
she's nice.
I feel like your grade just kind of showed everyone that hard work is going to pay off because like you guys were so good the year before too with that like Red State Jazz 2020 whatever it was, and we all just kind of like wanted to follow you guys. I think that helped a lot. So made me realize like how important like the leaders of a team are.
When you were a senior, what from Jenni did you take and apply?
Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind is I wasn't in pom my freshman or sophomore year. I think I kind of just came into it like I was good at tumbling and I was good at like tricks. I didn't have the dance experience that I feel like a lot of people had. So I would get to practice and watch like Jenni do pom in front of me and I'm like I've never seen anything like
Firecracker.
this. Yes. I'm like
She still is.
yeah. It's like unreal to watch. Just watching you like really did inspire me to like I wanted more for myself. So then I started like working really hard on the palm aspect of things and just like kind of like turning like you and trying to like improv like you. Like I would like go back and watch her like videos on the Instagram and just like
On the Instagram.
see what I can do. And then watching just like her grit and like toughness because she was a captain, and I would say like the captain that everyone was like a little bit scared of and like definitely listened to, and I just felt cool because I was like friends with her. I would just be like I want to be like that. I want to be like tough and like not get tired after I'm dancing. She would get done doing a palm dance and be like, all right, like what, just still like not even sweating. Like it was just inspiring
can
to
see
see
that.
that like true athlete and like athlete mentality like going into the competition aspect of it. You know, that's so true though. Like you're such a beast.
Way we cried my senior year when we thought we would never dance together again.
You saying the words like this is our last time performing together. Like and it wasn't.
I had my
So
fingers
much.
crossed.
Yeah. But it's like I can like remember that like with the way it sounded because we were just sobbing like unwell. But
And Jenni knew she was going to try out for Vikings at the time, but Louie, did you know that one day you would, or you saw Jenni do it and you were like, same?
I went to your first year. No, you were before that. It was you had to film.
He filmed my rookie year audition like tape.
I was like,
for me.
what am I like? I didn't know.
Can you meet me at State Gym to record this for me?
I was like, why are you doing a double in tennis shoes? But sure.
And I had to like, do the recording of like, hi, my name is Jenni and this is why I want to. And he's like standing behind the camera, like giggling. I'm like, now I have to start over.
But then I went to your tryouts at the mall that June, and I was like, ooh, like this is giving. And seeing you live, wanted a taste of it. I got it.
Yeah. And now going back to Iowa State, the game day experience for Vikings, is it similar to your game day experience like for football games at Iowa State?
Very different than Vikings, I would say. I mean, we had to sell t-shirts majority of year football. We had to do some fundraising just to like get to go to nationals. So like every year selling football t-shirts is like an extravaganza. So like usually you would show up early. I always have my wagon. I roll my t-shirts up and have my wagon. But I think we had to be there how many hours before kickoff? 4. Because we do something called Spirit Walk and Step Show. So like it's just like kind of to rally the crowd up. So it's kind of like an appearance and like the band plays and the cheer team's there. And then after that we do like kickoff. But I can let you talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, they were definitely hard days. Like there was more sidelines and they were like longer to band music. Yeah, so we would have, I think at one point my junior year there was as many sidelines as there was people, and there was 42 sidelines. So, and they wouldn't like really call them before. It would be like by song you kind of had to know. So that's what we were working on the whole summer. We would get like 20, you'd make the team in May, you'd get some sidelines, you would have a workshop in like June.
So is that the need for having 42 sidelines? Is that the band has 42 songs? Or like what is the need for having that many sidelines?
Well, 20 of them is just band ditties. So that's like all the songs band would play. And like there was like Star Wars music, you know what I mean? And like fun songs that they would like to play. So we had a ditty to all of their music. But then if the stadium's just playing songs, like kind of like NFL style, like your captain calls down the line, like we're going to do Flava, for example, is what one of our non-band ditty sidelines is. You would have to know, okay, we're doing Flava, pass it down. Your captain calls you out on that 7-8, you know to start. So that's for like any regular music. So like 20 band ditties like stay pretty consistent year to year, and then like
you're bringing those band ones to basketball too, so you're not really like learning anything else. It makes it pretty easy.
Yes, and then you would have like however many they want to have.
So you guys have a really long season then. If you make the team in May and then
It's like pretty
nationals
much
aren't until the beginning of April.
Yeah.
Do you get that month off or?
I remember going to nationals in like mid-April, having a banquet the next week, and then tryouts the next week. So it was back to back to back. But it was like, I mean, that's why I loved it.
And it changed too, because even up to like my year, recruitment became very new. Everyone I feel like was starting to recruit, and we were still doing like regular style auditions where you like show up, and like that's what I did all of my years. And then I think it was after I left, maybe we started recruiting.
I still did it in person for 3 years.
Senior year, yeah.
It was the last year that they stopped.
So like we were newer to recruiting. It's kind of fun to see.
And do they do it the same way that like other teams do with the recruitment submission video?
Now they do, yes.
Okay.
Transition to this year. And then, like we were talking about earlier with the Cardinal and Gold, they actually got rid of that this year as well. It's still kind of split into 2, but they're like very much like more by like choice. It's like traveling for basketball versus traveling for football. It's kind of whichever one you wanted to go to for that is kind of how it's split up.
Is there anything else that you remember about NDA? Like we talked about ballroom practices maybe being like your favorite memories there. Like that's what you remember about NDA.
I have a couple memories. One that tracks really well for me is that I was always on the aux. That still tracks.
Yes.
That still tracks to this day. But like we had like a big boombox that like you wheel around, and every team has one. Like in Daytona, and everyone's on the street like walking around. But like I always had that dang boombox behind me, and I was always playing like some kind of like ridiculous loud EDM mix. So that will always be one of my favorite memories, just wheeling that thing around. One where I wasn't on the team though was getting to surprise Louie his senior year last year, and he had no idea I was coming, and it almost was spoiled because my parents came with me and they were in the Ocean Center practicing, and like all of it's glass, so like you can see right through. And like we walked right by, and the whole team's standing there. I was like, Mom, Dad, like they're gonna see us.
Someone was like, Jenny's mom. I was like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Soda.
Louie's like, yeah, he did not believe them. And I was like, oh my God, like I was spotted for sure. Now, like he's gonna know. And like I wasn't gonna tell him until after they danced. So like I was keeping my profile low. And then it kind of got around, I think. And I think he was just like, there's no way. Like you guys are all lying to me. Like, no way. I just talked to her about my knee splitting open. Like, there's no way she's here. And then I got to see him after jazz, I think. And I just remember that, and I remember crying, so I was just so proud getting to see him dance. Made my heart happy. And then I think he danced maybe a little bit harder knowing I was there.
For sure. For sure.
After everything we've heard so far, that
And
makes
just like
sense.
seeing one of your best friends win, like he said, he didn't do pom. He never got to dance pom with me, and that was the 2 years we won was pom. So I was like really holding out. I was like, you've got this. Like your senior year, you get a ring. Like I am here rooting for you, and getting to see him. One of the traditions is if you win, you get to run into the ocean. And so like getting to see him run in the ocean was so special, and just enjoy that moment, because that's something that I will remember my junior and senior year, like feeling so fulfilled and like you really truly earned it, and then getting to run into the ocean with your team and like sing your school fight song and like just feel so good and proud about where you put on the floor. I think is just something I'll never forget.
When teams run into the ocean, is that something that NDA like has you guys do, or is it just a tradition that started over the
I
years?
can't even tell you when that started.
They like know about it, but
Okay.
Cheer and dance, like both programs are like, that is the thing. Like if you win, like you've probably seen like Navarro on there, but we have a lot of the same traditions of if you win, like our team always said like you do not touch the beach until you are done dancing, because it was like bad luck. I think a lot of teams think that way. So like we knew you did not touch the beach until we were done.
And then even if like you didn't win, like you would still like go to the beach after dancing. Like then it was just like, that's what we
you
do.
just take pictures, and like I remember like my years, and even like getting to watch Louie do it too. Like the speaker person's got the speaker blasting, and we got our like Iowa State songs queued up. We have like a good, like the Juicy Wiggle is always one of them, and a couple other ones like from like our favorite from the year. So yeah.
Okay, so did you win senior year, Pom?
yeah.
I was sitting on the edge of my seat here.
They added another like round last year called Grand Champ, and we won that as well, which was crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like just the top. So there's like multiple divisions: D1A, D1, community college, all the divisions. So they'll take the top score from each of the like categories, and those will all go against each other. So even like last year, I know Weber State won D1, and then I think like Alma College won their division, and they ended up actually beating Weber State. Yeah. So like a tiny school beat Weber State in hip hop. It was wild.
So all of the different divisions compete against each other
in the same category. So all poms. Yes.
Okay.
No, I wish.
Categories within one division were competing against each other, but you're saying like all jazzes from every division.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Jazz all together.
Because sometimes, like, I feel like, and this is true about every dance competition ever, right? You're looking at teams that are winning their categories, and you're like, well, I want to see them up against this other category.
I know. I'm like, if UGA
this other division,
that would be some tea.
Like this year, I was like, open, like number one, like top score open pom could compete against D1A pom.
Sure. I see that.
Yeah. But I also feel like it just breaks that like myth that people have that like D1A is the best. But that's just school size. That has no talent.
Like I always liked seeing like, yes, our division D1A, but like D1 at NDA too, like when they were stacked with Weber and Utah Valley was there, and like Sam Houston, I think, was in D1, and there were some like stacked schools, and I was like, I don't know who's gonna take it. Like there's like 5 strong schools. It could be anybody's game. So yeah, I think that was so cool for you guys too.
For sure. No, that the D1 jazz category, the first couple years we were there was so much harder than D1A. It was like insane.
That's cool.
Well, obviously when Jenni came, and her parents, I didn't have my parents there,
Yeah.
and her parents are always all like, just feel so like homey and special. So that was really fun. It just felt like I had family there. But I also loved, so we stayed in the ocean walk right above the band shell. You would wake up because there would already be people performing at 8 a.m. and the music of the band shell would literally be like vibrating the bed. It was like, let's go. It was so cool. And
What a
then
great way to wake up in the morning.
yeah, and then you would go on the balcony and just hear everyone screaming and flyers being thrown up in the air. It was like literally
Someone
the
just flies
bass.
past your balcony.
Yeah, seriously, the bass from the band shell could be heard in Miami. Like, it was so loud.
Okay, so now our second to last question. We want to talk about your favorite dance that you ever competed. And then after we're done recording this episode, we will all watch them together, and listeners can find our reaction videos and just watching it together on Reels and on TikTok. So go watch our reactions. But now Jenni and Louie are going to tell us what their favorite dances that they ever competed were.
This is a hard question because my senior year, I had two great dances. My jazz like was so special. Just the best song. It was the Beatles. It was like just so cutesy and fun to do. But my pom was like the most rewarding dance I've ever been in. It was a challenge and the song was so good and the choreo. Like I stood by all my best friends in it. That it has to be my favorite. And we wore black and white, which I loved.
Oh, I love those uniforms.
Yes.
Those were sick.
Mine would be my junior year pom. That was also the year that we got to represent as the USA pom team. So like getting to like see how it started and then like evolve, and then we had to like change anything that said like Iowa State. It had to be like USA, and that was just really crazy because like some of it obviously you can tell that it wasn't made for like USA. So like hearing the other version was just so funny. But I think just how rewarding it was to like win nationals and then go represent USA and then win again was like so cool to just be a part of that experience. And then now getting to see like every year who's going to like represent USA in like jazz and pom and hip hop. So that's been really cool to see as well.
So this might be a tricky question. Which performance of that dance was your favorite? The one at nationals or when you competed it then at ICU
Yep.
Worlds? Like which time that you did it were you like,
I
this
liked-
is my favorite time?
I liked the stage better at ICU because for that we were in Orlando at like the ESPN. And I'd never danced there before. And like obviously a lot of the girls had danced there in high school nationals, but just like that stage felt sturdy. The one in Daytona is like a built stage. And like as a dancer, like you all know, like those stages don't always feel the best to dance on. Like there's just zero give, no support. They ricochet, you know? So I think I liked dancing at ICU better. And like I was just like, I can whip this dance out like no problem. So I think like comfortability wise too, like I felt so good about it. And just like being so proud to like wear USA is so cool. And like you're dancing for something so much bigger. Like everyone knows you came from Iowa State, but like also getting support from Texas Tech was the jazz team that year and UNLV was the hip hop team. So it's like also getting to like kind of like be on a team with your usual competitors. So that was really fun as well. And just, yeah, I think just like getting to dance for a little bit of a bigger reason and then making connections with people all around the world, Mexico, Japan, New Zealand, like how cool to have that experience as well.
So what do you want people to know about NDA who are new to this competition? Because we do have a lot of listeners that are new to NDA.
I feel like it's growing a lot. I feel like it definitely is like the sister to UDA where it doesn't get all the traction just because the bigger schools aren't necessarily there. But I feel like every year there's like schools that are coming, like U of M and Ohio State's premier teams are coming now to compete. And I think that's so cool that they get that opportunity. But also I think just for us, like every year we go, I feel like I'd be like, wow, like the competition's getting harder. More people are coming. It's getting a lot more traction. So I think that's exciting to see.
Having like cheer there on the band shell, like anytime I would get like tired or like need some like pumping up, all I would have to do is just like look at cheer practicing or like performing because it's like they are animals. Like
That's such a good way to describe
yes,
it.
like,
Yeah.
Outside in the grass.
in
Yes.
the grass, in the street, like anywhere. It's just like they're constantly screaming for each other, tumbling, jumping, throwing each other. It's like, if they can do that in this like heat outside right now, I can go to a turn set inside. It's like, let's go. And I think, and they'll even yell for the dancers too. Like Iowa State cheer was there, so they would be like, they would come in and watch us dance. And I know that that's kind of a thing at UDA as well, where it's like kind of both schools can be there. But even with like schools that weren't Iowa State cheer, it would still be like, let's go dance. Like they would still hype each other up, and I think that was really cool. And then just everyone knows about like Navarro and Texas Tech cheer teams, so that was like just always something to be watching for. And like I remember one night went to dinner and I sat next to like Gabby Butler, and I was like, this is wild. I love Navarro.
I do feel like the cheer atmosphere is very different from the dance atmosphere. So
Yeah.
that is a cool thing to like have at NDA, is that atmosphere of just
Yeah.
like hype and cheering for everyone, and just like that's like just who they are all the time, and it's really cool to be around.
Yeah.
So Texas Tech's cheer team goes to NCA? Oh, and they're
Pretty good. It's like always between them, Weber, and Navarro for like the grand champ for cheer.
Texas Tech used to come to NDA. They left after my sophomore year. So my junior.
Oh.
They had BYU there, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because, yeah, I think South Carolina's only been at UDA the last 2 seasons.
Yes.
So
Yep.
before that, they were all NDA.
All NDA.
Okay.
Yep. Yes.
Love.
And then Texas Tech was Palm and Jazz at NDA.
Yeah. So like just kind of as a whole, do you feel like more people are going to NDA or leaving NDA?
I feel like a lot of bigger teams like BYU, Utah Valley, Weber, sometimes they go back and forth. Like I know like
Okay.
they've switched from NDA then to UDA, and like based on their religion, sometimes things come up. So that's why they've gone different routes
Oh,
each
gotcha.
year. I feel like a lot of bigger schools are wanting more competition, so that's why they choose to go to UDA. Like I know like for Texas Tech, they're like, we've been coming here for years. We want to try something new. And same with South Carolina. They wanted to try something new and like see other competitors, which is totally valid. But I think a lot of other like smaller schools, and like I said, like Premier are like getting the opportunity to come. So I feel like it comes and goes on like
Yeah.
who's coming and who's going.
I was going to say, it sounds like a lot of teams are like adding like
For sure.
other dance teams that are also going to NDA too. So it kind of feels like there's a decent flow.
For sure.
Going back
like,
and
I remember
forth.
every year I was kind of like, oh, there's more people in jazz category and even palm
I
category.
remember Jazz this past year had more than 30 people in it.
Yeah.
So that I was like, I remember expecting there to like not be a lot just because of how big UDA was last year, but it was even bigger than any of my other years. So that was good to see.
Yeah.
It's still a very hard competition. I think people still like think it's not just because the bigger names aren't there, like that it's like easy peasy, and like no, you still had to work your butt off. Like
Yeah.
it's not just handed.
There's still phenomenal
anyone.
teams going.
For sure.
And Shannon and I have talked about this before, maybe, but like I feel like as time goes on, things ebb and flow so much. So even though it feels like teams are going to UDA right now, there's going to be another like time where everybody starts flooding back to NDA, and there's always going to be this give and take.
I was interested in what you said about like things coming up with their religion, like at a religious school, like that causes them to have to go, because I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh, they're going there because they want to compete against bigger schools or this and that. Like they make assumptions as to why that's happening. Or it's just more popular. That's why they're going there. But like, no, there's actually like just scheduling things sometimes. Like it can be as minute as that to like as to which competition they go to that year. Yeah,
and especially because like I know like for the youth being here, like they don't get a winter break like most college kids, and like you think about that's like a lot of people's time to like go home and spend time with family, and like they don't necessarily get to do that. So I think like I said, like for a lot of schools, like they don't want to give up their winter break to like prep for nationals. Like we're lucky that we still get to enjoy our winter break and then enjoy our spring break. Like our coaches give us that time off to like recoup, regenerate before like we hunker down. And
Wow.
I feel very lucky. She'd be like, I will take it away. But I mean, I was lucky that I still got to go
Wow.
on spring break with friends and like enjoy the college memory of that. And I know not everybody gets that either. So
Yeah.
I feel
Well,
pretty blessed.
I think you made a great point that there's benefits to each. And like Shannon said, there's like, we don't know what each team's individual reasons are unless we sit down and talk to them. Maybe you guys can speak to this, but like an individual dancer doesn't want to give up their winter break or their spring break. So they're going to choose one like team over another when they're
For sure.
thinking about it.
And like it could just be money. Like I don't know how expensive it is to go to UDA versus NDA, like if there's a difference there. But like it's
Sure.
not cheap to buy plane tickets for 42 people and coaches and then staying at the hotel. Like you have to get a bid from going to camp. And if you don't get that bid, then what do you do money wise? Like it's expensive. Like you think about costuming and rhinestoning and all those things that also play into the competitive factor. And it's a lot.
So when we went to Worlds back when we were on All-Star teams, they did like fully paid, partial paid sort of bids. Do they have the same thing for
Yes,
NDA?
because it's you can either get a bronze, silver, or gold bid.
Okay. And
So
that's
like
how much money you get.
yes,
to
and I
go.
don't necessarily
Okay.
know like the specific amount,
Yeah.
but I knew like okay, if we got our gold bid, like that helped pretty much pay for our entire
Right.
like hotel
Yeah.
stay. And so that mattered a lot because also then we're doing the whole t-shirt thing, the calendar thing, like all that was going towards nationals. Like I think our school helped us out a little bit, but like we weren't technically like an athletic department that they would help fund all
Yeah.
of that for.
And I think a
So
lot of dance departments are in the
for
same boat
sure,
as that.
yeah. Like we're treated as athletes of like you have to do your due diligence of like keeping that GPA and like being a representative of the school, but like we weren't necessarily in cheer to like funded in that way, which like you said, a lot of schools are that way, and I think that's something that we all are trying to push
Yeah.
for because I think it's deserved.
Yeah. We've addressed that a lot in our previous episodes, the discrepancies between like every other team sport versus dance and cheer. It's like you have to follow these student athlete guidelines, but you're not going to get the same benefits as everybody else.
Or
So
just recognition. Like we went and won nationals and worlds my junior year, and we were told that we were only recognized because we won worlds. So like when we won my senior year, we didn't even get recognized for it at like a football game like we did the past year. And I was like, why? They're like, well, you didn't go to worlds. I'm like, that shouldn't matter. We won nationals. And I was like, as somebody on the team, I was like, that's just so silly to me and I don't understand.
this is the pinnacle of your sport.
Right.
Like
it's
you
huge.
won the whole dang thing.
They want you to go and perform at all of these basketball and football games, all of these other sporting events. But then when it's your time to shine in your sport, it's not recognized, it's not valued in all facets of.
And I'll say this now too, because I mean, I've been out of it. Oh my gosh. I'll be out of it 4 years now. But like my senior year, we did like a send off and like we thought we were going to get the like gym or like where our basketball team plays is called Hilton. We thought we were going to, do you remember this?
Yeah.
We thought we were going to have like the flooring, the gym flooring to dance on. We show up to do our showcase, us and cheer. We cheer, no floor, cement,
No.
no basketball.
There's none.
I'm like calling my coach like, there is no basketball floor. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah. So what do we do? Like families came in. My family drove in like to watch, and like other people came in. Like my friends came to watch. Cheer rolled out their like blue foam, and we marked our dance on the we didn't turn for our like
Gosh,
national send off. It was
For
that
your
is
send-off.
crazy.
That's like the most dance. Like
Yeah.
every
Yep.
dancer that has ever danced in their life.
And like
can
in
relate
our
to
full
that.
costume and everything, and we're like, yeah, we're like great national send off.
my God.
Like looking back at it, you're just like, what? Yeah, they fully just like stripped up, ripped up the floor.
And it's funny because I don't know if NDA has these rules too, but when we did our UDA rulebook episode, there's like a rule in the rulebook that says a floor must be provided, like a safe floor must be provided. Like you can't dance on cement.
That they have to like put that in there. A
Like,
safe
You would just
But
think that
still,
might
like-
be common sense.
minimum.
I would like to end on this note then, because this is a really good conversation. What would you like to see? And I think it's pretty obvious what we'd like to see happen in the future for the world of college dance, but like what would it mean to you guys for college dance and cheer teams to get the same level of recognition as every other sport? If you're being held to the same standard, what would you guys need to see, and what would it mean to you to see that same level of recognition across the board?
I think especially like at Iowa State, like I think dance and cheer, like even like as students, like we held ourselves like and our coaches held us to such a high standard. I feel like we all really always wanted to do well, and like we showed up to class. We were the people that like did best on assignments and tests, where I think we want that recognition from your school and you want to feel supported as that athlete. Like you want to be able to go to the athletic building and eat with the athletes and their nice food. Like, no, we're eating at the dining hall, or you're like cooking, whatever. Like, it just felt like you were such like a little bit of an outsider versus feeling included in that like athletic department, even though we had like all the same ruling, like you said. And like, I had friends that were wrestlers, or like people had friends that were football players, and like you still just kind of felt like a little bit lesser than, instead of feeling like included in the community of being an athlete. Like, you got the school backpack, but like, did you feel like you were part of the athletic community, or like, did you still feel like you weren't quite enough? Like, I love Iowa State, like through and through. I would not change a thing about my experience there, but like, cheer and dance were stuck down in what we call the dungeon for football games. Like, you're getting changed down like by the pipes with mirrors like propped up. And like, we joke about it, and like, we loved all the memories we make down there. But like, then you look at other teams and you're like, oh, you have like a whole locker room with like metal lockers and like somewhere to put your stuff. Like, you're just throwing your stuff anywhere, just hoping like nothing spills on it. So I think it's just like making sure that, one, your coaches back you, which I think ours did a pretty good job of. But then, like Louie said, like having strong captains that like still kept your bond strong and like your why strong. And then also just like continuing to like have the conversation of like, no, we should be treated the same. We put in the same amount of effort, even more some, like we're dancing at football games and basketball games, and like giving that entertainment out there. And like, not everybody, you don't see like basketball doing a halftime at a football for like entertainment. So I just think like keeping us all on the same level, even though we do different things.
No, I agree with you. And I think like with everything in college dance team evolving so much, everyone's at such like a different place. And obviously everyone wants to be at the top, have everything, have all the right facilities and training and coaches and everything. But like you said, I really do think right now is a crucial time for like the leaders of a team to like fight for what they want. Because I feel like the older people on a college dance team right now are going to be like smart enough to know what they like have and what they don't have. But obviously with social media and everyone else, like we're seeing what's happening on other teams. So I think just awareness. And like even last night I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw like a video of the Ohio State dance team and it had like millions of likes. And I was like, hold on, that's really cool. It's a palm dance that has like 10 million views. Like, if we can keep getting people to just like see how cool it is, like what people are doing, then I think that's all it's going to take, and just awareness and like visibility.
I like that call to action to like the leaders on a team and those like seniors, juniors, upperclassmen, and captains like advocating, because I think sometimes people don't know what to do. Like everyone knows what needs to happen, but it's like, how do we get there? And I feel like that's a really great. Yeah. But like it's very hard to think of a way to get there. And I do think that's an awesome first step, is like have those upperclassmen, because they know they've been through it. And after a few years, like, yeah, the rookies aren't going to say anything because they're like, they just got there. And like once those juniors and seniors, like you've been through it, you know, you're ready to advocate, and you know what you're talking about, and you know what you've experienced, how it's felt. When you were talking, Jenni, it was reminding me of the Maya Angelou quote: people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. That's like how I felt that whole experience was, is like, yeah, they can say that you're an athlete and all that, but like, how did they make you feel as an athlete?
This is a little side story. Last year, we got like a student athlete email, and I felt the need to respond one day, and I was like, oh, are we student athletes now? Like, it was like, you need to go do this since you're a student athlete. I was like, oh, do I need to go do that? And he was like, no, you can disregard. And then I just got into it. I was like, so tell me why we are not whatever.
Good for you. That's like, that's advocating, standing up for yourself. Yeah.
That's what I thought too, but genuine curiosity, genuine like what's happening. And I like had to sit down in front of my team and tell them that I'm thankful for everything that I have. But I'm very glad that I still stuck up, because
both can be true in my opinion. Like, you can be grateful for everything that you have, and you also need to question what's happening, because it's not right. Oh, good for you.
That's all I was doing. Was question. I was like, wait, let me get some
clarity.
But not to say like you don't want to be grateful for what you do have, because like I feel like with what we got, we always played with well. Like, we were always grateful for what we got.
We did get a lot.
Yes.
I'm very thankful for
like
NDA and Iowa State. Like, that was the best experience. We got a lot.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we are grateful because I think, like we said, like when you go to nationals, you realize like we get a lot, and like there are teams out there that get nothing and are like fundraising all year just to like get the chance to perform. So I think too, like we kind of been saying, but like being grateful for what you do have, and like with what you do get, like use that to your advantage as best you can. And like you said, like if you're a leader on your team, like realize what power you do hold and like how you want to make your teammates feel. And like, do you want to make them feel valued, or do you want them to feel like crappy because you didn't get a school backpack or something like that? So
I love that. And taking everything in stride and with positivity is only going to continue to grow your team and grow your bond and make you guys stronger, which will then hopefully result in more championships in the future, which will bring,
Right.
I want to bring it back to the word visibility, because I love that you said that, Louie. I love the word visibility, especially when it comes to dance and cheer, because as long as we can increase awareness and visibility for the sport, I agree that it'll naturally continue to grow and hopefully open more doors.
thanks for having us.
Yay! Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having the 2 peas in a pod.
Yes, our 2 peas in a pod. You guys are just so fun watching you guys play off of each other. I'm so grateful to know you guys and so grateful to have had you on. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for Center Stage with Jenni and Louie. And thank you, Jenni and Louie, for joining us. To stay on beat with all things college dance, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at 8 Count Breakdown to keep up with all the college dance news. And we cannot wait to watch NDA this year. You guys have given us so much to look forward to, and I can't wait to watch Iowa State. You also mentioned Sam Houston.
I'm trying to think of who else is
To
going.
see West Virginia's doing Palm this year, so I'm excited to see that.
Is that new?
Yes.
Okay.
West Virginia always has beautiful jazz costumes.
Love.
It is just like always so gorgeous.
Okay, give us, besides Iowa State, of course, 3 teams to watch before we sign off.
Obviously BYU, Iowa State, Sam Houston, Boise State.
Boise State also always has beautiful costumes. Louisville hip hop.
Louisville Ladybirds.
Yeah.
You've given us some great teams to watch. Now I can't wait. But you're going to join us for our send-off. You ready?
This has been
8 Count Breakdown.